everybody, and welcome back once again. It's another edition of Inside the Headset. It's game 9. We're in week 10. I'm on the campus of Oakland High School, and I've got with us the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, head coach Kevin Creasy. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing good, Stuart.
Well, we got to rewind the clock, and I know you don't want to, but I was in New Orleans when you played the game off of fall break. You went over to CPA. And, Coach, I caught maybe a couple of minutes at the end of the first half, but I did watch the second half and waited and then text you and asked what happened, and I got 3 sentences back. We did not play Oakland special teams. We did not play Oakland defense. We did not play Oakland offense. Therefore, we do not deserve to win, and it's all my fault, and we've got things to do. From there, take it away, Coach.
Yeah, sounds about right. I think we got beaten all 3 facets of the game, and it was one of those deals where we had a week to get ready for them. Didn't have school.
Yeah.
Sat there and had practice in the mornings. Even brought them in on Sunday, something we hadn't done twice all year. Told those guys about what a good team CPA was. A lot of our guys, I think, might have looked at their record. I think it was 3-4 at the time, but
had played Lipscomb. They had played some great teams along the way.
They had played Lipscomb, yeah.
Who was it they played that was really good?
NBA.
NBA, that's who it was. I'm sorry.
NBA is one of the best teams around. They've already beaten Ravenwood.
They did that week 1.
And of course, they played Brentwood Academy, who has a great quarterback. Played Cane Ridge, who is on a roll, and like I said, played 4 quality opponents that gave them a loss. And of course, they were pretty inspired. They lost to a team they hadn't lost to in about 22 years, and so they were pretty inspired. And our guys, I don't think they got going until the lights got on real good, and we were down 14-0 real quick. So. We got exactly what we deserved, and hopefully we learned from it. And that win streak's over, all that stuff. But I think our guys had the best practice of their career. We came back Monday and had a heck of a practice. Wish we could have done that the week before, but had a great practice and got some things fixed, moved some people around, and definitely made some adjustments and. Showed off, that Friday against Riverdale.
And when you go over a loss like that and it hits you, of course, it's a loss. You've got, like you said, the streak and all that involved, but it was business as usual. Player A did this, player B did that. You went over it because you've got another game to prepare. You can't just, keep saying we broke a win streak. You can't just keep dwelling on that. It's a great thing, and at the end of the day, you knew it was going to end. And sometimes some coaches just say, I wish you'd go ahead and end and get out of my way, because it's kind of, you do have some media that, and as well as us, we'll on several broadcasts, we'll say, past state champion or leading the region. Us in the media, we kind of set that up for you. So,
Yeah, that's cool. It's one of those things we like to brag about. I think it was the 5th longest streak in the nation, and got broken, and they deserved it. CPA deserved that win. Totally outplayed us. Totally outcoached us. Showed up, showed out, and made some big plays. Stopped us a couple times, on 4th down. And then of course we made mistakes, but I don't think I'm gonna get on here and make excuses about, routine was all fall break, all that stuff. At the end of the day, sometimes you show up, and, you win. Sometimes you show up and you're the loser. And we got on the bus as a loser, and went back to work that next week and tried to fix some things.
You get into this Riverdale game. It was a game on Stork Vision and everything. You break it open, and first thing is Jeremiah Collins busts one back for about 92 yards, gets you 6 points, you're on the board. They get the ball, they go 4 down and out, you then score again. First half, I thought, one of the big players that stuck out in my mind that had a wonderful game was Khalil James. Thought he had a couple of great runs, had a wonderful catch that set you up for the touchdown. One of the players that He's, and I kind of said this in the broadcast, if we think about players that have come up through Oakland, a Victor Stevenson type kid, you can stick him just about anywhere, can't you?
Yeah, we love Khalil. Khalil's done a heck of a job. You know, he was more of a support member last year, more of the supporting cast.
Right.
And now he's more of a main player. You know, he weighs a whopping 144 pounds, but he makes plays. He's really fast, has great hands, knows the playbook inside and out, even can play quarterback. Got in and played a little bit of quarterback the other night. So, yeah, Khalil's real valuable to us. And, you know, you talk about that great catch he made, his touchdown run. You know, he had 2 cuts that, you know, most people would blow their knee out if they had that kind of cut.
He did break a few ankles on that
He
one
did.
run.
He did.
He can lock it up and go back to 4th or 5th gear extremely fast.
Yeah, and you know, when he doesn't have the ball, we're asking him to block, and he's blocking a guy that's a foot taller than him sometimes, and you know, he's giving it all he got. So, you know, you look at what some of these guys did, you know, before the Riverdale game, you know, the week before, they didn't have quite the numbers, didn't perform quite as well, you know, weren't quite as focused, and then they come out the next week and they show, you know, what they really should be playing like every week.
You lost one of your big guys a couple of weeks ago in the Blackman game. How's that guy doing?
He's had surgery, you know, went through surgery, should be back 3 to 4 months. Won't get it back this year. Jake Riggs is a big-time offensive lineman, you know, getting recruited by Happy State and some of those schools. Eastern Kentucky's already offered him. But he'll end up being a Division I football player. And so when you lose guys like that, and,
yeah, man, that hurts.
You're trying to replace them against a...
Because he didn't get to play against CPA. He went out in the Blackman game, am I right?
He was out and didn't get to play against CPA. And it left a big void, but now we've had a couple of weeks to kind of replace him. And, you know, it's hard to replace him.
Yeah.
But we do have, you know, an answer. And so it was a better answer than what we had, you know, going against CPA.
Quentin Norfolk, let's talk about him. Anthony mentioned him on several plays in the play-by-play broadcast of the Riverdale-Oakland game. A kid that's coming up and making some plays, and you got to like that. He's young, and he gets to come back a couple more years, doesn't he, Coach?
Yeah. We got 3 senior D linemen, and then right behind them we have 3 sophomore D linemen.
And run through those sophomore linemen if you don't mind. I've already mentioned one.
Yeah, and of course Dre and Amari are the other 2, but what I'm saying is Norfolk showed out the other night. He's the longest of them all. He's got these huge long arms to keep blockers off of him. But what I was going to say, those 3 sophomores are pushing those 3 seniors right now for playing time. And they got to play as much, if not more, than the seniors. So it was another thing that we discovered during the CPA debacle. You know, some people take advantage of those opportunities of getting to play, and Norfolk was one of them. And like I said, he disrupted Riverdale's offense a lot of the night.
Did have a bad snap there on one of the special teams, and Levinsky kind of got murdered, but quickly covered the ball up. We haven't talked that much about Levinsky, but a guy that, like you say, many times over and over, he's a guy that knows the playbook. He knows where other players are supposed to be. He is very important to the Oakland team, and guy doesn't get enough credit, but the other night he's a holder. You know, whether the ball was a little slippery, I'm not for sure what all happened in the transition from Turk to his fingers and then getting ready for Taylor to kick it. But it did come on the ground. Riverdale roughed him up there a little bit, but quick to cover up the ball, and you got to think about that. No, hey, I'm not going to try to make a play. I can't make a play. Let's just cover it up.
Yeah, Max has you know, been our holder for a couple years now. Turk's usually automatic. It was a little off.
Okay.
And sometimes Max is able to snag those. You know, Max is a former baseball player, got good hands. And like I said, when he runs our offense, quarterback, he's a guy that's been in our system since the 6th grade, so he's really good. But at the same time, you know, those things got to be automatic. But unfortunately, it happened, and the next time we scored, we went for 2.
Exactly.
So that's a 2-point conversion play that we've practiced all year that we haven't had to use.
Barnard was wide open, and
he was
crushed him.
So it showed, you know, that, you know, all this practice time we spent on that 2-point conversion has paid off, and ended up getting us right back to where we were. And, you know, same thing happened the week before at CPA. I've never tried an onside kick in the 7 years I've been here, and we needed an onside kick because we were behind 2 scores and ended up kicking it and recovering it. So some of those things you figure out that, those things have been working, even though you had done it in the game, you just done it in practice. So we hope not to be kicking too many more onside kicks, but it's good to know that the practice has paid off over the years.
And you talk about that when you first got here. I was asking some questions on what kind of coach you were before you arrived and everything. And there were a lot of people talking about how, he goes for it on 4th down all the time, and you don't. You haven't carried. Was that something you did do at Trousdale from time to time? Did you just say?
Sometimes we do. It's kind of one of those things that. You got to see how the flow of the game's going. I think we went 5 for 5 against Ravenwood, but then we go 5 for 7 against CPA, and the 2 that we didn't get were really costly. So it's one of those deals where sometimes you look like a hero and sometimes you look like an idiot.
Well, we move on, and you've got Liberty Creek coming in Friday night. A lot of people wanted to know why I scheduled this game, but at the same time, we try to do 2 games or try to find around our coaches the ones that do allow us and give us a great hospitality. I like to try to do 2 games in the regular season. Just so happens this is I asked for a couple where you said we all said, well, what about Liberty Creek? And the reason why a lot of people don't know about them, we know they're a new school, they're a startup school. Tell us a little bit, and the fans, because they're coming in here to Ray Hughes Stadium, and all of us just acting ignorant. Tell us a little bit about Liberty Creek and what you know and what's going on with Liberty Creek up in Sumner County that'll be coming here on Friday night.
I know that they have made a conscientious decision to win at football there. Their facilities are probably the top-notch facilities around.
I think Tom Krager wanted to enroll there. I saw that at the beginning of the year. He was wanting to move up there, I think. But go ahead, yes.
Coach Guthrie better step it up, is all I can say.
Yeah.
Lose a player. So I know that they have facilities, they have money that they have thrown into their program. It's unmatched by any public school around. They've gone out and hired a great coach. Coach Alexander has done a heck of a job. I've known him back in the day when he used to be an assistant coach at Beach.
Okay.
With Coach Crabtree, one of my best buddies and one of the best coaches around. And then you look at, he came from the private school ranks as well, coached there as well. But they've got young players, but they have got a good coach and good facility. So it will not be long before they get that thing rolling, First year program, you look at Rockville, it took them a couple years to get their first win. I know Siegel had some growing pains back in the day.
Stewart's Creek had a little bit.
Yep. But now, this team's already won 2 games, which is impressive in itself, and they've got a wild schedule. They just came off playing a team from Kentucky. I think they played someone from Virginia or someone the other day. So we were lucky just that we both needed a game, and it fell right into place. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play South Pittsburgh for a second year, but Liberty Creek was willing to play, and like I said, it felt perfect because we hadn't had our homecoming week yet and all that stuff. So definitely happy that we're playing, and at the time we only had 9 games, so we're happy they agreed to it so we could have 10 games for our seniors. What
kind of offense will we see Friday night on the field out of Liberty Creek, and what kind of defense do they like to line up in?
Well, the thing about it, their offense is stuff that we like to do. They do a lot of the things that we like to do. We were actually bragging about some of the schemes that they had and really dove into what they were doing Sunday. And then you look on defense, it's exactly what we do on defense. So a lot of stuff we do on defense, they're doing. A lot of stuff we do on offense, they're doing. And, I think they're definitely headed in the right direction. And whoever decided to make those facilities a reality and hire Coach Alexander, they made some great moves.
Before we get away, any players we should watch for on the field that you can kind of give us a little teaser, just some of the kids that some of their bell cows or anything?
Oh, some of theirs?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about it. They've got just a few seniors.
Okay.
Like I said, we're impressed with there's some guys that are moving around there that they can play at several different positions. I think that's key, that you'll see those guys with the same personnel on the field running a lot of different formations. That's the best thing I can say. And then the second thing is They have two DBs that, you know, we got to be aware of where they're at, because they will definitely stick you, and they will also catch any ball that's close to them. So we want to make sure that we stay far away from those guys and make sure they don't know whether it's a run or a pass.
Just want to say thanks to Mr. Marshall, you and the faculty and staff here at Oakland to let us come Friday night and broadcast and carry that game on Stork Vision. And I just said it tonight, Friday night, right here at Ray Hughes at 7 o'clock. It'll be on Stork Vision. Liberty Creek and Oakland